In my house, we pray before we eat, and it's not just a check the box, mark it off the list kind of a thing, right? We explain to our kids, we pray before we eat because it's important for us to say thanks to God because He is the ultimate provider in our home. Everything that we have is because He made a way. And so we instill this in our boys. When we first started praying before meals, they didn't want to. They were like, oh my gosh, Mom, what is this? This is stupid. And we explained to them why. And over time, they grew to love it. And what's funny is now whenever we ask our kids, hey, who's saying grace? Most of the time, it's an argument of who gets to say grace. And sometimes we let one start and the other one finish. Sometimes we pick one of the kids, and sometimes they're like, Mom, why don't you say grace tonight? Or, hey, Kyle, will you say grace? And he does, which is cool because they understand the importance of taking turns and that it's important for all of us to participate actively in our faith and for all of us to be thankful for our food and for our provision. But I was talking to my youngest and my oldest, came in on the tail end of the conversation. And I was asking them the other day because we were eating lunch at the house, it was the weekend. Do you guys pray before you eat when you're at school or over at your dad's house? Because their dad and I are divorced. And so they live with me and stepdad. And they were like, no. And I said, well, how come? And they were like, well, we just don't. And I said, well, why? I dug a little deeper, right? And my youngest one said, well, it's embarrassing. And it broke my heart because I realized that as far as my kids are advanced in their Christianity, right, they still have that little inkling of like fear, and they're still fearful of what other people might say. And so for me as a parent, I'm not going to look down on them for that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look within me. And what can I do as a parent to build their confidence, to make them feel like, hey, it's okay to pray and it's okay to pray wherever you are. So that's something that I'm going to work on. But on the same note, I did take the opportunity to talk to them and tell them, hey, it's okay for you to pray at school. You can just bow your head quietly and silently pray, and that's all right. Or you could be bold about it and you could pray out loud, and you never know. There might be a kid at your table that doesn't know Jesus, and maybe you just shared him with them, and that's a pretty cool thing. So either way, pray silently or pray out loud, and maybe help lead someone to Christ. But you should never be embarrassed or fearful or afraid of your faith and be afraid to pray. So anyway, I hope that encourages you. Kids are, they're tough. They don't come with a manual. And as Christian parents, it's our job, it's our duty to make sure that they're not embarrassed about Christ and that they're not embarrassed about their faith and that they understand their faith and why we do the things that we do. And that they live it boldly. Anyway, I love you guys, and I hope that you'll have a wonderful night or day or whatever time it is that you see this video, because I don't know when you're watching this. But anyway, love you guys. Hope to talk to you soon.